I got it all on record. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Ben and Nate's Questions That We Ask Massage Therapists on the Internet. I am one half of your host, Nate Fay. Joining me is my co-host, this amazing guy, and we do what we do best, which is ask questions on the Internet. We get your answers, and we make a cool podcast.
I am the other half. My name's Ben. The first part of Ben and Nate's Questions We Ask Massage Therapists on the Internet. We have a Facebook page named the same thing. Long name, but it makes it easy to remember. We like it when you come check out our Facebook page and check out the weekly questions that we ask. We'll call it periodic questions, maybe not weekly. That's getting too pinning us down too much. We don't like to be backed into a corner. But anyway, we love that you're listening. We appreciate that you're here. And what's going on for today? We got a question that we asked a while back on our Facebook page, didn't we?
Ben, we have so many questions on the internet that this is going back to a question that we posed back in March.
Yeah.
Which has been an interesting topic. And Ben and I are going to do probably our most uninformed podcast. But here we go. Here goes nothing.
Here goes nothing. You want me to read off the question as it lays on our Facebook page?
You are the world's best reader.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but we'll give it a go. So our question of the week that we posted back in March reads, the Interstate Massage Compact is a big topic right now. How would the ability to practice across state lines change your long-term career strategy? That's a really loaded question. There's a lot going on there. What about, I like to read the question and then I like to go straight into what's your hot take, Nate? 20 to 30 second hot take on this question.
Well, 20 years ago when I got my license and there's this whole national certification, there's this whole board certification, but the question remained forever. What's the point? I practice in Connecticut. Can I go to Massachusetts and practice? And at the time, the answer would be no. So it sounds like as I'm trying to inform myself, feels like this is trying to say that I may be able to potentially do that down the road. But here I am 20 years later going, I'm not moving anytime soon.
Yeah.
So those are my initial thoughts, but again, trying to learn more about this. And how about you?
Oh man, my 20-second hot take is, I'm reading into the question, how would the ability to practice across state lines change my long-term career strategy? I don't think it would change it much because I don't plan on relocating. But I did some research, and we're going to get into this a little bit later, I think, but it's just interesting. We talked about this a little bit before we started recording, and both Nate and I are not very well informed about what the actual massage compact is, what it means, what it does. So we're going to take that approach in this episode of our podcast as being one of the, I'm going to call it general population of the massage therapy industry, and we're going to talk about it as uninformed massage therapists.
Yeah. So let me do this briefly, Ben.
Yeah.
I pulled up some information. So let me just read what this is being defined as. So some of our listeners can understand that. So this is the Interstate Massage Compact, known as IMPACT, IMPACT, is a legal agreement currently being enacted across the United States to create a multi-state massage license. So its main goal is license portability, allowing a qualified licensed massage therapist to legally practice in any other state that has joined this compact without having to go through the grueling and expensive and time-consuming process of applying a separate license in every single state. Now, with that being said, this could have a benefit. So if my spouse moved, if your spouse moved, right? It doesn't replace, so I just state control. It does not replace your home state's board. Each state still retains its own authority to regulate the profession investigate complaints and protect the public. So,
I feel like this thing would benefit people who move around frequently. So I see like military and traveling occupations, like traveling nurses. If you had a spouse that was a traveling nurse or a traveling, I don't know, traveling door hanger salesman, I don't know.
traveling with the circus. So, yeah, and I've known, I mean, like you and I talk about all the time. I've had colleagues that I can count on less than three fingers that have told me their woes of moving and going through exactly that definition of a grueling process of money, time to practice massage in another state. So I could see it having um, a benefit. It seems like the percentages for now are small. And by the way, at this point, before we get into answers, because that's what this show is all about,
Yeah.
here are the states that are successfully signed into the compact.
Let me have it.
So you live in Nebraska.
I do.
So you're somewhere here. I'm somewhere here in Connecticut. And you're
Yeah.
somewhere here. I've flown out to your state two
You have,
times now.
yeah, two or three. Yeah.
If you handed me a blank map, I still couldn't point to Nebraska.
Oh, boo.
Oh, that's my own fault. All right, here we go. Nevada,
Okay. Las Vegas.
Ohio,
Yeah, that's a state we don't talk about.
Arkansas,
Oh, they got a diamond mine there.
Virginia,
Virginia, yes.
Montana.
All right.
Now these
Big
are
sky country, Montana.
so I mean again,
That
you
five
know,
states.
five states. Now these are states with active or recent legislation that want to join, but have not yet. Now these some of these might make more sense for me. New York
Yeah.
could potentially make sense. Delaware, Georgia, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina could make sense if I ever retired down south. Wisconsin. So there's a long way to go with this little bit that I'm reading. Clearly, there's a long way to go.
Yeah.
And the two massage therapists that I know that moved, those states that they moved to aren't on here anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, I did a
there,
little digging, a tiny little bit, and I looked up some information from the AMTA, and they did a survey, and this was back in 2020, and so this would have been probably after COVID, or I don't know, maybe before, I don't know. But they claimed that of the people who responded to the survey, 40% of massage therapists are mobile massage therapists, meaning they go to a location other than their own place. So they bring a massage chair somewhere, they go to your office, they meet you at your house, that sort of thing. So I also think this impact, this massage compact, could potentially affect them. I think about where I'm at in my state, and your state's pretty small, right?
very.
How would you describe the shape of Connecticut?
How would I describe the shape of Connecticut? Square with a little thing sticking out.
Yeah, like I think of it as just this rectangle.
Yeah,
And it's one
with
of
a little
those.
with a little
Whenever I
boot,
yeah,
like a
whenever I
male.
put together that, I used to have a puzzle, and you would put all the states in. I could do all the big ones, but once you get on the East Coast and all these little ones, forget about it. I
Yeah,
couldn't do it.
yeah, right.
But so say you live on the border or near the border of your state and you travel across the border, this could potentially be helpful. But I mean, if you're not planning on moving to a bunch of different states, I mean, going through the process of getting a license in another state, I mean, yeah, probably it's going to take a little time, but if you're going to be doing it, you're going to take the time to do it to get over the border.
Right. New England, I literally I'm 2.5 minutes from the Massachusetts border where I live.
Yeah.
So I can be in Massachusetts. I can get in my car and I could be there at 9 p.m. It's 8:55 right now.
Okay.
I can be in Vermont. If I left now, I could be in Vermont by 9:45, so less than an hour.
Yeah.
I went to New Hampshire, less than an hour. Maine, I could be at the border in about 2 hours. New York, I could be at the border in about an hour.
Yeah.
So 20 years ago, kind of like I said in my 20-second spiel, the thought of, well, maybe I might have a practice in Massachusetts, that might make sense. But realistically, it never did for me personally.
Yeah.
So, but I guess my point in saying that is, an area like New England could make a lot of sense for therapists in this general geographical area where I live. Well, I could have a practice in Massachusetts 10 minutes down the road. That's a real life possibility of commuting to work. It's
Yeah.
not, I could say I could have a practice in Vermont, but it would take me an hour to get there every day. That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. Should we look into what people had to say about this question?
I think we should.
Okay.
So I think just briefly reading some of the answers, I think people for the most part would kind of were along our lines. So one person said it might allow for more flexibility in a career move, and it would curtail all the administrative paperwork and probably, costs around it. But like she said, streamlining the curriculum between states' education departments, that's what's really going to take a long time. And but other people kind of went on to comment on her comment to say you'll still have to maintain two licenses.
Right. This doesn't take away the fact that you'll need to have those licenses. It's just supposed to
Right.
make it easier to get those licenses.
And there's a baseline on massage curriculum in the massage schools, but I kind of wonder if she was referring to continuing education requirements, if that would be a factor in all this. And I'm not sure. Do you know if how that would play into this?
I
I
don't. I don't know enough about it, and then that's the point of view we're coming from. Is your average massage therapist who this doesn't really affect. So why should I? I'm just gonna throw it out there. Why should I care about this? I mean, it's relevant to the industry, but I mean, I would like to see it pass, so that it could help some people. But
Sure.
I won't ever. I won't. I don't want to say I won't ever use it, but chances of me using it are unlikely.
I think that's a great take too, Ben, because sure, if it helps some of our colleagues out there that have to move, their spouse got transferred, it's devastating to give up your practice and start all over again. So certainly taking one big element out of the equation could be great. And this person's answer probably goes along with what I said about our neighboring states being so close together that, she would like to be able to work on her friends and family in participating states and not feel shady doing that. Um, and that makes sense too. So hoping that there's an agreement between the competing compacts so that she's coming from Illinois. But yeah, again, she's also saying, I just don't know a lot about this. And another person says, well, I'm ineligible, so is
Yeah,
what it is.
and looking at we like to we occasionally get off on tangents, and I'm going to say some of the other things that I think would be helpful, but also I don't know how to help is how do we get insurance on board with massage. I know there's a couple states that take insurance, and then also oh, there was one other and I forgot about it, forgot what I was going to say, but there's a few things that I want to help, but also I don't know how, and I'm only one person, and I know how that works. Is it's that attitude. If everyone says I'm only one person, then no one does anything. It doesn't get
Right.
anywhere.
Yeah, I've been approached by people. Will you be part of this group on the compact? Will you speak about it? And sure. I think I think like you said, it's gonna help somebody. So as
Yeah.
long as it helps somebody and is reasonable, I mean, at the end of the day, without opening up a can of worms, I mean, we have a lot of questionable things in our industry. And I briefly brought this up, the national certification, the board certification. What does it really mean for people? And it's a question that is thrown around all the time.
Yeah, that was my other one. And we've talked about that in
Yeah,
past episodes.
sure.
What
Yeah.
does it mean to be NCB TMB certified? Like I really don't feel like there's a lot of benefit. And that could have that was that a whole episode?
It was
Or
a whole
do we
episode. That
need to do another episode on that? I don't know.
Well, maybe we do, but I'll just say for this episode, I do pay for that board server for certification. I think just because it just helps my credibility in my massage practice.
Who has ever asked you if you're nationally board certified when they make an appointment?
Nobody's ever asked me, but when clients are in my treatment room, they see my four main, I keep four diploma certifications on the wall. I keep my massage therapy diploma from the school I graduated. I keep my osteopathy diploma, my master musculoskeletal therapist diploma, and I keep my board certified on the wall. And people say, "Oh man, that's great. You're board certified. That's so awesome." And maybe it makes them feel good.
Yeah. I call that the I love me wall. And I have pretty much the same thing.
I know. I'm gonna steal that, Ben. I love me wall.
Yeah. I
Comment
got
below on what your contains the contents of your I love me wall.
that was something that I took from the army. So when you walked into the commander's office, there was always a wall that had all of his certificates and awards and everything, and we just called those the I love me wall because a lot of the officers like to show people how great they were.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the other thing too is if I won the lottery, Ben, our good friend Mark from two RMTs and a mic asked
Yeah,
me,
up in Canada.
yeah, if I won the lottery, would I still practice? I would. So that's the truth. I would. I absolutely would. If I never had to worry about money again, I would still see clients. Now, not to the level that I'm seeing clients now,
Yeah,
but I would still see clients. Now, the impact would help me if I won the lottery because I would relocate to St. Croix or one of these
yeah.
islands and see patients there. So hopefully, as one of our answers said, I don't want to be shady. And hopefully that compact helps me when I win the lottery.
That's interesting because I was going to ask you a question, but this didn't have to do with the lottery. I just wanted to ask you if you were able to go to any state to practice without any extra paperwork or any extra fees or anything like that, and you could do it starting tomorrow, where would you go and why?
Well, okay, can I give a I'm going to make a comment before I answer that. So by the way, there's 45 states that require licensing.
Okay.
Now, when I graduated massage school in 2006, I think that number was I'm going to fact check myself, but I think it was like 9 states.
Okay.
I could be wrong. There's
Sounds fair.
currently 4 states that have absolutely no mandatory statewide license regulation for massage therapy. Kansas,
Yeah.
Minnesota, Wyoming, California.
And I do
Now,
think some of those they're not statewide, but they're maybe city or county or municipality. Some of them do have some sort of requirements.
so
Gotcha.
I'm actively reading this stuff.
Okay.
So
Give give it to me.
Minnesota is pushing for licensure. California is it's written as an interesting hybrid. There's no mandatory state license, but the California Massage Therapy Council offers a state voluntary state certification And almost every city and employer in California requires this certification.
Interesting.
Now, Vermont, I brought up Vermont earlier. Vermont does not require a traditional license, but it does require all massage therapists to register their names with the state's Office of Professional Regulation. Now, interestingly enough, and there's not to go down another quick wormhole, but in my seminar business, I've had my most successful classes in California.
Yeah.
And I define success as the biggest numbers I've ever done out of any class have always been in California.
So they're hungry for education in
Hungry for
California.
education. All my California classes have sold out faster than any other class that I've taught up and down the East Coast, where all this stuff is deeply mandatory. Continuing education, license renewal, and California has been my best state. So now to answer your question, if I was now knowing that 5 of these states are not licensed, should I leave those states out or is any state open for your
Any state's open.
California? I'd go to
Nice.
California in a heartbeat.
Golden Coast, huh?
Yeah, I've said forever that I was born in the wrong part of the country.
Yeah.
How about you?
I could see you as a surfer
No, 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 no.
or fishing, maybe.
Fishing or
Yeah.
laying at the beach.
I don't know what I'd do. I think you know, I pick my locations based on my people, and so right now I don't have a will to leave where I'm at. I mean, this area of the country is not the greatest weather-wise, but I don't know much else, so I'm kind of stuck here.
Well, and at the end of the day, we only know what we know. And I've, just like you, right? You've had a successful career in massage in Nebraska,
Yeah,
successful career as a massage therapist in Connecticut. So the grass is not always greener.
yeah. Well,
Well, Ben, I think you and I are a couple of liars. We said we were uninformed, but I think we spoke pretty goddamn well on this.
we did pretty good at a quick Google search to figure things out.
Google and Gemini are good friends to us. So,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Oh man, what left an impression on you from what we talked about? I know I like to talk about takeaways. What do you take away from what we talked about?
Well, I'm just going to fall back on what you said. I loved what you said about if this helps one person, one of our colleagues, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
How about you?
You know, there's something I thought about earlier when we were kind of brainstorming what to talk about. Is how does the average massage therapist learn about this, and why if they don't care in the first place, where are they going to get the information about it? I mean, randomly on Facebook it might show up, but if you're not looking for it, I'm not getting mail, I'm not getting email, I'm not getting anything about this. So I'm with you. If it helps somebody, great, but I don't know how to help.
Well, there's a Facebook group called Supporters of Impact.
Ooh,
And, this is interesting. There's 1,600 members.
excellent.
And I know one of the trade journals, I can't remember if it was AMTA or ABMP, did do a cover story on it, I think in the last year. I feel like it was ABMP.
Yeah, you know, and those associations are usually pretty good with putting stuff out in their periodical magazines and stuff like that.
Hmm. Well, but it's an interesting thing because there's 1,600 members of this group. Are you ready, Ben, for the total number of practicing LMTs in the country?
Ooh, yes.
We're just fact checking left and right tonight.
Let me
What do you
let me
think?
guess.
Yeah, I want you to guess because we like to do that.
Oh man. Okay. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it a big round number, and I'm gonna say 100,000.
Well, you're in the ballpark of the six figures,
Okay.
but you're low.
All right.
And you're not even half, so I can't even give it to you.
Ouch. Okay.
So it's 321,000 therapists. That's
I underestimate the population of the coasts. I'm out here where people are we're not dense like they are out on the coast, so that throws me off.
so you mentioned the two coasts. So I'll give you another guessing game.
Okay.
Which two states are have the bulk?
We'll go with New York and California.
Okay, well, California, yes. I'll give you New York because it's on the list of top five,
Ooh.
but you mentioned the coast. So Florida,
Oh.
the hot
Really?
second. New York was fourth, and all my exes come from Texas was third.
Yeah, I knew that had to. I need to do a little bit more thought before I just throw out my answers. That's the kind of answer guy I am. I just throw out the answers, whatever comes to my mind.
One more before we wrap up the
All right.
episode. So the AMTA project a national shortage of roughly 29,000 practitioners relative to consumer demand. And that they're hoping that there's a 15% job growth rate over the next 10 years.
That's a lot.
So I think that's pretty exciting.
That is. Which is going to help us for the next question we talk about. Little teaser.
Tease me.
Yeah, the we're going to get to talk about oh man, how did you word it? What are you excited about, and what gets you a little bit apprehensive when you think about the next generation of massage therapists coming into the industry?
I can't wait to talk about that next episode because I asked this question primarily for the reason that in my seminar business, the tide is changing.
Cool. I can't wait to get into
Can't wait
that.
to talk about it.
That's a great teaser.
All right, my friend. Hey, everybody.
Nate, tell them if they like what they're hearing, how they can support the show.
Do what you guys have been doing. Keep answering these questions. You guys have been doing a great job at answering these questions, and keeps the show going for us.
I love it when you guys give your opinions and thoughts on these questions because, you know, back in the early days, Nate and I would just talk about stuff and we didn't have anyone else's opinion to talk about, so it was just ours. So it makes the show so much better. So thank you.
See you next time, everyone.